Foley here as my plaintiff and Vanessa Tyson as the defendant. Ms. Foley, you are suing the defendant for $1,209 and let me not leave out 99 cents. What are we in court today for?
Yes, Your Honor, I am suing today for the total cost of legal fees I incurred after leaving a party that Vanessa threw. I accidentally ingested a brownie that was full of cannabis. I didn't know it was full of cannabis, and upon leaving the party, I received a DUI. So this is the total costs in which I'm suing for all of the legal fees.
Well, that is very, very unfortunate. What's the nature of y'all's relationship?
So we are not friends.
Were you friends before?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, we were not. We have a mutual friend named Rachel. She was the one who brought me to the party. At the party, it was Rachel and Vanessa kind of having their own thing going on, communicating. I felt left out, so I went to get some wine and eat something. I hadn't really eaten much that day. I had a small glass of red wine. They were talking in like the living room area. I went into the dining area, got myself a brownie. I have a sweet tooth, so that's what I wanted. I had no idea that it had cannabis in it. There was no signs indicating that there were any drugs in the food.
Right.
So upon leaving the party, I was feeling a little weird, but I thought that was just because it was awkward and uncomfortable for me. And
So you did not have a good time at this party?
I did not have a good time at this party, not at all.
Now, how many glasses of wine did you have, ma'am?
Not even one.
Not even one. It was the cannabis that was giving you the adverse feelings.
Absolutely.
So describe to me how you felt when you were leaving.
I mostly felt awkward. I felt a little tired, but I thought that might be like energy drain, kind of a psychological more than physical feeling. I was just feeling woozy, really tired. I got the DUI from rolling through a stop sign, and the officer asked how I was doing, what was going on, and he assumed that I was under the influence because I couldn't really communicate in the way that I wanted to. His car and brought to jail. I spent the evening in jail until Rachel could bail me out.
So you ended up having to spend $1,209.99 on expenses associated with the DUI.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you have any evidence, ma'am, for me to see?
I do, yes.
Go ahead and give everything to my bailiff.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. Let's take a look here. Yeah, clearly intoxicated. And of course the ticket itself totaling $1,209.99.
I'm also a teacher, so there's an added level of not wanting to be in that kind of trouble.
Yeah, it's not just the driving aspect. It's all of the tangential civic things. You're very fortunate that you're not going through, I don't know, a child custody dispute right now, because that would be used against you in your custody hearing. You better believe it. Before I get too far down this road, I do want to hear from you, Ms. Tyson. So this was you throwing a party for casual friends at your home?
Yes, Your Honor. I throw parties every Friday night. It's a known thing with all my friends. My friend Rachel was in town. We are friends from high school, and I was catching up with her after years of not seeing her, and she brought Steph along with her. I am not familiar with Steph. I don't really know her very well, but I put these brownies out every Friday. Everyone knows that they're laced with THC. There is a sign next to the pan, and everything on the table is set out in a way that there's alcohol, brownies that are laced, and then there's snacks that don't have any kind of alcohol or
Understanding then, Ms. Tyson, that this party is so frequent and customary in nature that everybody is already on notice or should know that the THC is in these particular brownies?
Yes, Your Honor, and there's always a reminder every time the party starts.
What kind of reminder, ma'am? Are you telling people?
I tell people when they come in the door. There's also a sign next to the pan. The party started at 7. I think Steph and Rachel showed up a little later, around 8 p.m.
So she didn't hear the announcement?
She didn't, but Rachel was aware.
Did Rachel tell you anything about this, ma'am?
She told me after the fact. After I was bailed out, she asked me.
Like physically, literally bailed out?
Literally bailed out. Literally brought money and bailed me out of jail.
Yeah, wow.
Where I was for the night. And afterwards she asked me if I had eaten anything. I told her I ate a brownie. That's when I realized the brownie had cannabis in it because she told me then. So after the fact, after all these things, I was told. Not
So you
during a
didn't
party.
even know as you were being arrested why you were intoxicated.
Yes.
Wow, that's wild, Ms. Tyson. Let me ask you, do you have any evidence for the court?
Yes, Your Honor. I
Okay,
do.
please give that to my bailiff, all of it in its entirety. It would be really great if you had a photo of these brownies with this alleged sign warning people of the THC consumption. Is that going to be in this folder, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, well, I was just shooting out, just putting it out there. Okay, let's see. I do see a sign. It says weed brownies laced with THC, and you're purporting that this was in front of the brownies.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, now I really was hoping that it was going to be a photo of the pan of brownies with the sign in front of it, so I could be totally clear that this notice was giving its intended impact. But I do see a sign. It was the actual sign.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So your contention, Ms. Tyson, is that this was totally the plaintiff's fault. You did everything you could do to put everybody in the room on notice of the cannabis.
Yes, Your Honor. And if I would have known that that happened to her, I would have let her stay at my house. We would have driven her home. I never want to put my friends in an unsafe position. That was not the goal in the situation.
Did she look high to you?
Unfortunately, I didn't really socialize with her very much. I was catching up with Rachel. She kind of ran off doing her own thing, and I was socializing with people in another room. So I didn't even see her eat the brownie, nor did I see her leave the party. I had no idea.
Okay. And Ms. Foley, what do you say about this sign? Allegedly, there was this big sign by the brownies. Did you miss this?
I did. There was no sign that I saw or could read. I would assume that if you're putting drugs in food, you would use a bigger sign or a more vibrant sign, perhaps.
So you're telling me this is the first time in your life that you have seen this sign?
This is the first time I've ever seen that sign in my entire life, yes.
What do you say to that, Ms. Tyson?
I say that's untrue.
So you think she's lying?
I think she's illiterate.
Ooh. Well, Ms. Foley, that is quite a searing accusation.
I certainly can read. I don't think I would be able to text and send you those messages if I didn't know how to read and was illiterate. I don't think I'd be a teacher either and have a degree if I was illiterate. I would just assume that you would put out a sign that says drugs are in the food. Who knows what else was in the food?
I'm going to allow you, Ms. Tyson, to have a final word here, only because I am prepared to make my ruling shortly, and you are the defendant here with, last thoughts.
Yes, Your Honor. I want to say that if I ever knew that she was in a situation like that, I would have done everything I could have to help her.
Ms. Tyson, I don't believe that you did anything deliberate to undermine this young woman's safety or the safety of others. However, it's your house, it's your party, ultimately it's your guest list. So the argument that you want the court to consider in your favor is that you throw these parties every Friday. Everybody knows it's customary that my brownies are special brownies. But the issue is, not everybody knows. Ms. Tyson, it is not reasonable to expect a first-time guest in your home, ma'am, to know the customs and patterns that you employ in your social setting. That's not reasonable. It is your responsibility to make sure that that is emphatically imparted. And while I can appreciate this little homemade sign of yours, it is not compelling enough for me to believe that this woman is lying about seeing it. You put her in a situation, ma'am, where she had unwilling consumption of a product that ultimately could have cost her her life. Let's be clear. We're here today talking about a DUI. People die from DUIs every day. I certainly cannot ask this woman to bear the cost of what was an involuntary consumption of cannabis at your house, on your property, at your consent by herself. Thus, the court will rule in favor of the plaintiff for the costs incurred for involuntarily consuming a cannabis brownie at the defendant's home. Rule in favor for the plaintiff, $1,209.99. That is my judgment.
Judge Ebony has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $1,209.99.
Any final words for each other?
Tell people when you put drugs in food. That's it. That's all I have to say.
I heard you the first, second, and third